Welcome into the Bluegrass Burnouts YouTube channel. Today, Cody and I will be going over our top 5 schemes from NASCAR 2026, Week 4 at Phoenix. Cody, go on ahead with your honorable mention.
Yeah, kick it off here. One that going into this week, I wasn't sure where it was gonna be on my list. I'm kicking it off with Tyler Reddick in the number 45, and I kind of had a rough time putting this where it was, but obviously we'll talk about this later. There were some that I just really liked this week, but I think that my big thing with this one is while it is gorgeous and I love the design they have on it, it kind of just doesn't have enough, if that makes sense. Like you've got the two colors, it fades in, fades out. I also don't like how they kept the Air Jordan logo red. I think it sticks out in the wrong kind of way. Like you want things to pop a little bit, but I think if they would have made that like kind of like how they have the numbers with the black with the white trim, I love the way that that looks, but the red kind of just doesn't do it for me. So as much as I do love this scheme and 2311 they have some bangers, I just this one didn't hit the right spot for me, but I want to make sure to give the props cuz this thing definitely looks nice.
We will be seeing that later in my list. Just
I
saying,
figure we
Cody.
might. I figure we might.
Just saying. Now, for my honorable mention, and I had a really tough time ranking between my 4, 5, and honorable mention. It was very tough.
Yeah, it's
And
very tough.
I went with Kyle Sieg. Kyle Sieg, 28 in the O'Reilly series. Beautiful car. Absolutely beautiful. The saguaro cactuses, the sunset, the mountains. It is absolutely beautiful. Great, the sky, the colors, everything blends together so well. But for some reason, man, I liked some other cars more than it. Great car, totally fits the vibe of Phoenix, and I would honestly love to see them run this again. But, it's a Phoenix scheme, but it looks
Yeah,
really good.
absolutely. Absolutely. Moving on to my number 5, getting into the actual list here. I've got Joey Logano. And man, this scheme is just gorgeous. The throwback, they're running it mixed with the IndyCar, which we'll talk about this more in our preview. But last week, how they ran the IndyCar with the trucks, I talked about how cool it would be to have a Cup in IndyCar weekend, not realizing that we were having one the very next weekend. So I'm super pumped to obviously have that weekend exist, but I also think it's going to be super cool to see these two cars at the same track. They're running the same scheme for the IndyCar and the Cup car, and it's very simple, but it's so effective. And just the red and the white with the yellow trim, it just looks so good. It goes with the Pennzoil and the shell perfectly. Obviously, the number being red, like it just kind of ties it all together. There's nothing that sticks out in a bad way. This thing is just super, super clean, and everything works perfectly. There's really nothing bad I can say about it. It's just perfect.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. That was one that I considered a lot on mine, and it looks great, like you said. You know, um, I can't say anything wrong with it, but it's gonna be fun to see those to see the NASCAR and IndyCar in the same
I am
same track this
so
weekend.
excited. I'm so excited.
Cody, I went with one for my number 5 that I know you said wasn't on your list. Brennan Poole. I
Yep.
love it. It looks
Yep.
hilarious. It looks like something that you would like. My thing is when I'm looking at paint schemes, like I look at it like, would I buy this die cast?
Oh
And I
yeah.
would 100% buy this die cast. Like
1000%.
toxic waste, the hazardous sour candy company. It looks great. It looks fantastic. You have the green on the front that looks like, it looks like toxic waste. And then obviously the yellow, the caution tape on the bottom. It looks great. I love it. And it's hilarious. And honestly, if there weren't some of these other schemes that I liked a lot more on a good week, this could be scheme of the week, in my opinion.
Absolutely. This one is, to put it lightly, is a banger. Like it's also a sponsor that you don't see too often. I
Yes, that
remember
as well.
it was in NASCAR 25. It was in the game, but we don't see it very often. I saw a lot of really cool designs with it in the game, and I thought that was super interesting. But this one is just it looks clean. Unfortunately, just wasn't enough to make my list. I had a couple that I liked a little bit more, and one of those at my number four is Ryan Blaney. And I love blue is my favorite color, and that was probably a big part of putting this in here. But also, it just kind of like with Joey's, it looks so clean. It looks so clean, and I think that's a big part of it. Like, I love the chrome number. I love the mix of the blue, the yellow, and the white. It's kind of got almost the exact same design as Joey's, just with a little bit more blue. And I think that's kind of what puts it ahead for me, is it has more color going into it. Yeah, I think the logo takes up the perfect amount of space, the dent wizard on the side, and then you've got your little logos on the bottom. Take like nothing overhauls here. Everything meshes together perfectly, and the colors just rock. Like this one, same with Joey's. This one is just perfect. Like they did nothing wrong here. Everything is just solid. It again meshes together perfectly, and yeah, I just love this thing.
Yeah, yeah, no, fantastic, fantastic scheme. The other thing about that one is it's not something you usually see from Ryan Blaney. You know, whenever I
Yeah,
think of Ryan Blaney, I think of Menards. I think of a
absolutely.
brightly colored car, and this is a lot more low key
I think it
for them.
definitely caught me off guard when I saw it, but it was one that caught my eye as kind of like, and I think that's kind of a part of it is that, you don't see this sponsor a lot, or at least in this manner for the 12 car. And I think that was a big part of it. But like I said, just I love when a scheme blends perfectly and you look at it and you go, yeah, like there's nothing I would change with this. Like this is perfect. And Penske, two great schemes this week.
Yes, yes. My number three, Cody. I went with Alex Bowman, the Best Friends. I love the Best Friend program every single year. You know, they always have a very good scheme for this. This isn't the best one, but
This is definitely not.
but the dog and the cat paws I think looks really nice. I think that they also do a good job of, putting in that like that copperish color at the bottom. You know that blue. You know that really like light blue. I always forget the significance of that in Native American culture, but I know that it's like a big thing, and I think that's one reason why they're putting it on for Phoenix. I think it's also the colors of like the
I was
Best
about to say
Friends
it's also
program.
just yeah,
Yeah,
the
so it
orange for the
fits.
best friends, and
Yes,
Ally
like
runs teal quite a bit.
yeah, yeah, like that tealish color. But I know, like I thought I read somewhere where it was like a tribute or something like that. Because I
It
know that
definitely could
teal
be.
is
I
like
wouldn't
a
be surprised.
yeah, yeah. There's like that jewelry stuff, whatever it is. I can't remember exactly what it is, but dude, it looks. I think it looks great. I love it. You know, I'm a big animal guy, and I
Oh,
think it
who isn't?
is. Yo, yeah. If you're not, what are you doing?
It's a
But
little scary.
yeah, no, extremely scary. But I love it. I think it looks really good. I'm a big fan of it. I'm a very big fan of it, and that is why it is my number three.
Yeah, I absolutely can't blame you there. And I'm very glad that you put it on there. I did not put it on my list, even as an Alex Bowman fan. I think a big part of that was how much better some of the past ones have been.
That's fair.
Um, and not to say that this one's bad by any means. I just think the way that they did it before, like for example, a couple years ago when they ran the one that was fully orange at the front, and it kind of looked like the day car where it faded into the white, had the
Yes.
stripes. I loved that one. That's personally my favorite one, but I love the way that they kind of took up space. And this one, I love the pause. I just think that there's a little too much purple, not too much, but I wish they would have just done a little bit more design wise. But it is still absolutely a good scheme. At my number three, I have Ty Gibbs. And this is not one that I was expecting to put on my list this week. But when I was scrolling through, I stopped dead in my tracks when I saw this scheme. Like scrolling through the preview, I saw this and I went, wow. Like that is a great scheme. I love the design that they have here. I love the way that the number pops. Like it just looks like it's almost like 3D, like it's coming out of the scheme. That light purple is just a gorgeous color. The orange is a great highlight. And I love like the fade to black in the back. And we're talking about AM PM. It's kind of like a sleep thing. I think it is at least. But the PM asleep, you're going to sleep, you're fading to black. Whether that's, I'm sure that's not intentional, but I think that's a really cool touch. But I just love the way that they kind of play with the design here and having that little, just the little highlights of orange, that stripe of black right above the number. I think they absolutely knocked this one out of the park, and I'm really excited to see it on track. And you can never go wrong with a little bit of purple. Absolutely
Cody,
not.
Cody, I realized that I skipped my number four and did not have Denny Hamlin in the Bob's Discount Furniture Toyota Camry. It looks fantastic. The teal, Bob on the side hanging on to his name, and then the orange on the top. It looks fantastic, and it is a great scheme. But we'll go ahead with my number two, Cody, and you talked about this one earlier, and that is Tyler Reddick.
Yep.
While I can see that someone would not like this scheme, it's not that she didn't like it, but what I like is I like how simple this is. I
Yeah,
like how it
totally
kind of
fair.
I like how it kind of looks like a sunset as well. We get that, the sunset over the mountains and the desert out there. I think it looks really good. I love like the blending. I love that they just have the Chumba Casino right there, just in the back and the quarter panel. They incorporate that really well. And I think even though there's not a lot going on, I think it's very simplistic and I really like it.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I said, it was kind of difficult putting it where I did, but I thought it was just because it didn't have enough. And like I said, especially from 2311, gotten very used to seeing some really intricate schemes, some really like incredible stuff. And I feel like this one kind of just didn't hit, but I absolutely understand putting it anywhere on this list. Honestly, you could go anywhere from one to last, honestly. Like, I see arguments for it being better, I see arguments for it being worse, but overall it's definitely clean. But at my two, one that we've also already talked about, I have the number 28. Kyle Sieg, man, this thing, I love it. I love it so much. I am a sucker for sunsets. I'm a sucker for landscapes on race cars, and they did a perfect job on this one. Like, the colors are just so calm and cooling. I love the way it goes from the blue, fades into the pink and purple, had the orange, and then right back into the dark blue. The landscape, the cactuses in there, the little UFO right right by the tire.
I didn't even
Like,
mention the UFO.
I was gonna say, yeah, the UFO right there is perfect. I love how they have the moon on it, the stars on the top. Like, this, they went all out on this scheme. And I also love that the logo doesn't take up too much space. They kept it just on the rear quarter panel. It looks, it matches kind of what we're doing. The color of the logo and the color of the number, they pop enough to where you can see it, but they don't pop enough to where it looks weird. Like, when you have number color that's different from the scheme that you're running or different from the logo, it can look off, but this one is enough to where it just kind of fits perfectly. And it just, I, another one where they genuinely couldn't have done anything better on this one. And I just love when teams go out and have fun with their designs, and especially when they try and figure out something that's going to work with the track that you're at. Like, paying homage to where you're at, to the surroundings, to the vibe, to the community. Just and they do it perfectly here. Like, there's only so many ways that I can say that they did it perfectly, but I just love this thing, and another one that I just can't wait to see on track.
Cody, I'm going to go ahead and let you do the honors and mention your number one first, because I do believe we might have the same one.
If you don't, I'm gonna be a little concerned because this thing rocks. Give me John Hunter Nemechek in the number 42 Mobile One Toyota, because oh my goodness. First off, let's just talk about the design, the way that they have the colors going. First off, the number, the way that it gives that chrome vibe, the light blue to the black in the middle, it looks perfect. The Mobile One logo, the Pegasus, is first off iconic, and second off, takes up the perfect amount of space right there on the door. The logo itself, the Mobil 1 logo, doesn't take up too much space. It doesn't draw attention away. But the best part about this scheme is the waves, the way that they input the colors on the side of it and the blue just flowing down. It just I'm trying to think of the best way to describe it. It just looks like I don't even think like I was gonna say the ocean, but that's not even the right word. It looks like the wind.
Yes,
It
like
looks
when
like the
when
wind.
someone draws the wind, that's what it looks like.
Like that's what it looks like, and it fits so well on this ski. It just like it's kind of difficult to describe, but it just works so well. And the blue, the red, Mobil 1, it all works so well together. This one is just a little piece of heaven that we're going to see on the track this weekend.
And it's a shame, Cody, because that one did not make my list. Because it's a
Hey,
great scheme. It's a
I can't blame you.
fantastic scheme. It is a fantastic scheme, and I really wanted to include that one. But one way that I make my lists here is I try to include some stuff that I don't think you would include.
Hey,
Just
that's
because
fair.
we have a
That's
little bit more
fair.
variety. Just so we have a little bit more. And this is my list too. It's like I always say, you're not my dad. You can't tell me what to do. And that is why I have chosen the Chris Buescher number 17 this weekend.
I'm glad it got put on there. I am
The
glad it got put on there.
It looks fantastic. It looks so goofy. You got the dripping cheese on it. The yellow and red always look good together. And then to top it all off, you got a freaking grilled cheese on the car, man.
Yeah,
Like
you do. Yeah, you
you
do.
can't get better, and I can't wait for Buescher just to get like into the wall and the grilled cheese just goes away. It's gonna look funny
Don't
when it
wish that on
happens.
him.
I'm not wishing it on him. I know it's gonna happen. It's not even a wish. It's just a no.
It's gonna happen.
And it looks hilarious. I I can't say anything else. It's hilarious. I love it, and I don't care if people don't like it. This is my favorite scheme this week.
No, absolutely. And I am glad it got brought up. A big reason that I didn't put this one on here was another one I kind of mentioned it with Reddick. I wish they would have done more. Like I
They should
love
have put
the
some
way
soup
that
on there.
the cheese dripping. I love the way that that looks, but I wish that that they would have done like some kind of design instead of just going yellow, red. Like how it just has that bold cutoff of where the yellow starts into the red. I wish there would have been some kind of like fade design where kind of like how the 54 had it with the AM/PM car. Like that, if there would have been some kind of transition or design or just a little bit more color on there, if that makes sense. But I want to make sure to, shout the praises as well. It's a grilled cheese car. It's a grilled cheese car.
Grilled cheese car.
It's a grilled cheese car. Like at the end of the day, you have the grilled cheese car. So no matter what, might be taking it down my list, at the end of the day, we have a grilled cheese car and it rocks. So even though it wasn't on my list, this was absolutely still a banger paint scheme.
Some great and fantastic schemes this week, Cody. You got anything to say before we end this?
No, man, we're pumped up to get into the week. This is our first time doing the paint schemes before the race.
It
So it was
is.
a little interesting having to pick them out just from pictures, but I'm also a little shocked at how many good schemes we had this week. Because we
Yeah.
kind of talked about it on the last one, how we were expecting it to kind of slow down a little bit. And not only did it not slow down, it picked up.
It did.
We had
It did.
some bangers this week.
Cody, as we always say, please let us know how we thought you did. But again, you're not my dad. You can't tell me what to do. This is my list. But would love to hear what your opinion on it is. Feel free to leave a comment, like, subscribe if you guys think we are worthy of that. And we will see you guys next time. You have a good rest of your day.